Welcome to Parchment Update, an interview series from the Parchment Community Library to bring your community closer to you. I'm Karen Woodworth, Library Ambassador. Joining me today is Mayor Rob Britigan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Parchment has been certified as a redevelopment ready community. Please tell us about what that means.
Well, kind of in a nutshell, Redevelopment Ready Community is a designation through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or MEDC. And the MEDC is the economic development arm for the state of Michigan. And communities that have achieved the status of a certified development ready community, and we're actually an essential development ready community, means that we have documents and practices in place that provide predictable development experience for businesses that want to come into the city of Parchment. And it meets with the local planning and zoning responsibilities under Michigan law. The difference between an essentials redevelopment ready community and a certified redevelopment ready community, which is what we're striving for next, is basically the integration of those policies and practices into the daily operations of our city. So it's something that puts us on the map. It gives us access and puts us on lists to site selectors and economic development professionals across the country that are looking for municipalities that have this status or this designation in which to guide their prospective businesses to.
Well, that sounds actually pretty exciting, and it also sounds like a lot of work has gone into it so far. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of those details?
It's been years in progress, so it's not something that's done overnight. It's a lot of work, public engagement, both with our planning commission, with our city staff, with our zoning administrator, and again, mentioning that public input is all part of the process. And there are two big pieces to the redevelopment ready community status. One is a master plan. And the city passed a new master plan, I think it's about 3 years ago now, that addresses the vision of the city going forward. And then on top of that, then the zoning of the city has been under review, and new zoning ordinances have been put into place specifically for the mill site, what's called a PUD, or a planned use development, which basically provides flexible zoning so that when a developer comes in to the city, they don't have to go through a cumbersome rezoning process to make their business eligible to do business. It's already allowed, subject to the various approvals that are required through the PUD zoning process.
So a lot of work going on there. I know we've talked in the past about some of the zoning, some of the planning commission things, some of the master plan, and these are not things that you do once and just leave them by the side of the road. These are definitely documents that continue to evolve, right? I think, don't you
That's
have to,
correct.
yeah,
The
our
master
master, go
every
ahead.
5 years needs to be updated,
Mm.
and it had been a while. I think we had to blow off some heavy dust from the last master plan, and now it's really a working document. So it's something that gets looked at on a regular basis, but updated every 5 years officially, and it allows for an evolution of that plan as the market dictates in a lot of respects. So we're trying to maintain the quality of life and the traditions of our city, but at the same time trying to make it look forward and set the table, if you will, for future growth.
Yeah, and it is exciting to see new businesses coming into the city, and looking forward to even more. So what are the remaining steps before you get that next level of certification?
Well, basically, it's implementation. So it's integrating and implementing all of the policies, procedures, and such that we do onto a daily basis. So a lot of that will probably be accomplished with our next city manager, which I know we're going to talk about momentarily. But a lot of those things will be accomplished down the road. So it's basically taking what we've done and actually putting them into practice. So whether it's forms, whether it's all the zoning, whether it's the just again giving would-be developers and businesses kind of, they know when they come into the city what they can expect. No mysteries. It's all out in front of them. Here's what you need to do: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if they do all that, they'll know, subject again to all the various commission approvals, would be able to do business. So there's no mysteries, no surprises for those businesses. So it's really just implementing now the best practices that we've established going forward.
Okay, sounds good. Well, and as you just alluded to, City Manager Nancy Stoddard will be retiring in June, and there's been a search process underway. Please tell us about that and which stage you're currently in.
There sure has been, and we have so our city commission. We have a personnel committee, so 3 members of the city commission were tasked with coming up with a process by which we would hire a new city manager. And the recommendation, as approved by the city commission, was to hire the Michigan Municipal League, for which we are a member, to hire their consultant to come in and do sort of that solicitation, posting, develop job descriptions, seek community input in developing those job descriptions. What are we looking for in a city manager? And while Nancy's done a great job and no complaints, we're looking for maybe that next step. Okay, let's take us down to the next level. And what are we looking for in that? What are the strengths that we'd like to see in that city manager? And so that was established through, again, the Michigan Municipal League consultant. And then once that was done, the job was posted with sort of that criteria, what the city's looking for in the criteria. And then applications were received, resumes were received, and Michigan Municipal League narrowed that down from 13 candidates that responded. And we did put salary ranges and some of the details. So we kind of pre-qualified a little bit. And then those 13 candidates, of those 13, they were narrowed down to finalists. And then the personnel committee met with the consultant and narrowed those finalists down from 4 or 5 down to 3 interviews. And those 3 finalists, so kind of semifinalists to finalists. I'm stumbling over my semifinals, quarterfinals, and first round, but basically went from 13 down to 3 interviews. And the city commission interviewed those 3 candidates in early December. And after that interview, has selected one of the 3 candidates, and subject to contract negotiations, which are underway, and satisfactory background checks, we're hoping to hire that city manager, that selection, sometime in March. And we're looking forward to that. And that will give plenty of lead time. Manager Nancy Stoddard is not leaving till mid-July. And again, she's retiring. So it's all an opportunity to really give that new manager time to get familiar with the property, or with the city, as well as Nancy to be able to really leave everything organized for that new manager. So we're excited by it. Process has gone smoothly. And again, we're just in that negotiation process right now with the contract.
All right, well, that sounds good, and so we'll look forward to hearing when that's finalized. All right, well, before we wrap up today, what else would you like to share?
Well, a few things, if I may. I wanted we just started our budget process. So our fiscal year in the city is July 1 to June 30th. So we start our process in February with a strategic planning session with the commission. It's a work session open to the public. We had it in February. And that work session is where we sort of set our goals and objectives for the next budget. Those goals and objectives then are taken by the administration, by Manager Stoddard and the team. And she then prepares a draft budget for our review that's presented in April. We then get together, and from that point, we get our questions answered. We sort of work through the budget to understand it, make any changes. And then there's a public hearing on May 5th regarding the budget that we will be pushing, or I guess putting forth for approval. So that's May 5th. So that process has started. Second, our Kindleberger Arts Commission has been hard at work. We have a fundraiser coming up, and March 15th, the Bingo for Designer Bags annual fundraiser. I'm not sure what the status of the ticket sales is. I know they're $65, and it's probably sold out if history repeats itself. And looking forward to that. That's the main fundraiser for the festival. And then the summer festival itself is July 9th through 14th this year. We're looking forward to announcing the plays, both a family musical as well as a children's play that will be announced. We're hoping to announce that at the Bingo for Bags on March 15th. And then, of course, we continue with our summer concert series on Sundays throughout the summer. That schedule will be published shortly. That will 6:30 Sunday evenings, free concerts for everybody, and we hope people can come out and enjoy that. And then lastly, we actually have a city election in November. We have 4 commissioners up for election, including myself, and we're looking for good candidates to apply. And there'll be more on that later, but there are some deadlines for petitions and things like that. But that's coming up November 4th. So kind of 4 things on the plate here that we know are going to happen: public hearing, Bingo for Bags, the festival, and the November election.
Wow, yeah, that is a lot of good stuff coming up. And if people do want to start thinking now about being candidates, where do they find more information on the
They would
deadline?
need to call City Hall and ask for Clerk Stutz, and the City Hall. She would then be able to get them what is, or explain to them what is necessary, and assemble the proper paperwork that they would need to fill out in order to become a candidate. I think the deadline for that stuff to be filled out is in July. It's so there's some time yet, but you don't ever want to get caught because there's certified signatures and such required. So you don't want to get caught with on a technicality if you're interested in running.
Sounds like good advice. All right. Well, lots to look forward to then. Thank you so much for speaking with me today.
You're very welcome.